Welcome, dear viewers, to AUC Observer. In today's episode, we will be talking about AUC's MBA program that has recently been ranked Best Business School in Africa. But before moving to that, we will take a look at a wide range of reports produced by the Kamal Adham Center students. The American University in Cairo has welcomed Dr. Ahmed Dallal to become its 13th president and the first ever Arab president. Check out the most important moments of the inauguration ceremony in the next report by Amira Dakrul.
The American University in Cairo has launched a festive ceremony to welcome Dr. Ahmed Dallal as the 13th president of the university and the first Arab president of it. The official inauguration took place at the Senate Auditorium at the university in the presence of Board of Trustees Chair Mark Turnage.
Institution ready to chart a path for our second century. For this moment, I can think of no better individual to lead AUC into its second century than President Ahmed Dallal, Dr. Ahmed Dallal, soon to be president.
Minister of Higher Education, Dr.
Farid Abdel As I stand here today, I'm exceedingly hopeful and optimistic about the future of this important campus, the university, and of Egypt as a whole. History, that's where I would like to begin. Established a century ago, AUC had made a significant contribution to the lives of Egyptians through its liberal art education, scientific research, community service, activities, and dissemination of knowledge and societal welfare.
And other ministers, ambassadors, former AUC presidents, as well as presidents of regional and national universities and friends of AUC. Dallal was officially vested by Board of Trustees Chair Mark Turnage with AUC's historic medallion bearing the university emblem.
I have no doubt that all of these distinctive roles will persist. But in light of the global changes affecting higher education, accentuated by the dramatic developments of the last 2 years, we must now ask more of ourselves. We must put added emphasis on service, on serving our families, communities, and societies, and indeed, on striving to make the world a better place. And we will need to rethink our priorities as we embark on our second century of education and service.
The ceremony was followed by a joyful parade at AUC New Cairo campus. The parade included a diverse array of students, such as international students dressed in national costumes and carrying their country flags, student volunteers distributed treats and snacks, with others standing booths for souvenirs. The parade was led by President Ahmed Dallal, Dr. Khalid Abdel Ghaffar, and AUC trustees. Then, Dr. Dallal took photos with the students and contributed in interviews. AUCTV.
AUC Fabrication Laboratory is a small-scale workshop that offers AUC engineering students a chance to design and fabricate prototypes of their projects by advanced devices such as laser cutters and 3D printers. More about the AUC Fab Lab in the upcoming report with Marina Michel.
Fab Lab was established about 6 or 7 years ago. Fab Labs عامة usually consist of multiple CNC machines, منهم 3D printer, منهم laser cutter. We have all these machines in AUC Fab Lab. laser cutter is used for cutting shapes أو engraving shapes in wood, plastics. معظم الناس اللي بيجوا لي في الحاجات دي بيبقى إما architecture إما graphic design. As the name says, a 3D printer, it بيسيح plastic and prints any object that you can design. It prints it layer by layer. It keeps adding a plastic layer above a plastic layer لحد ما يوصل للفاينل shape اللي أنا عايزه. This is mainly used by mechanical and construction engineers. It basically gives them the freedom to يعني unleash their imagination and design anything they want and manufacture it without any delays as compared to traditional manufacturing techniques. My goal for Fab Lab is that it should be free for the student body. It should be as the mechanical workshop. It should be as any workshop in any laboratory on campus. The students should come. They should be able to use any material in the lab, finish the product, and go without having to pay a penny. But of course, this is difficult without getting any funding because I'm not going to use my own money. My vision for Fab Lab is that it is a student-led and managed laboratory that's by the students for the students to help the students create anything that they want.
Five students at AUC came in the first place in AUC Student Union's real-life competition for their idea VASTA application. More in the following report by Dua Farid.
VASTA is a mobile application that aims to serve communities in rural areas who otherwise don't have adequate access to healthcare, especially those who may be suffering from asymptomatic eye diseases such as diabetic retinopathy and glaucoma, who these diseases, if not caught early on and are not treated properly, may result to blindness or severe eye damage. So the mobile application aims to catch these diseases early on in order to ensure proper treatment for these individuals.
Who are just downloading the application. It's made to be used by junior doctors in primary healthcare units or mustawsaf in a rural area. So because these units are under-equipped, they don't have enough equipment to do proper diagnosis. So this is just a way for this doctor to take a photo, send it to a more experienced doctor who can then diagnose if this person should go visit a doctor because they need further care, or if they're good to go and they have no problems that are apparent. And that's basically how it is, how it works.
There were three major steps. The first one was the proposal. And then the second step was the presentation. It was in front of judges, and it was after they chose the best 20 or 10 teams. It was a 5-minute pitch where we presented just our idea, the model and the business model and how feasible it is. And then the last step was the top 5 teams, and we presented it in front of a panel of judges from the ministries of education and planning, and also doctors from AUC.
There were more than 55 teams from 8 different countries, and some from Romania, some from France, some from Brazil. Some of them were able to attend on ground, on campus here in AUC, and others had to participate via Zoom online. While we were waiting for the judges' vote, honestly, we would have never expected that we got first place. And when the judges announced that, we were totally surprised, and we kept looking at each other, not believing that this had happened. And it was really like a really beautiful moment where we all got to bond as a team, and yeah, it was pretty nice.
The Middle East Studies Center, MESC, is part of the School of GAP at the AUC. The center oversees BA, Diploma, and MA programs in Middle East Studies to help alumni to move forward in their careers. More in the upcoming report by Nada Al-Maghrabi.
The Middle East Research Center was established in 1998, and it started as a part of School of Humanities and Social Sciences. Then it was moved to the School of Global Affairs and Public Policy as a part of interdisciplinary program that focuses on regional studies in general.
The Middle East Studies academic programs started in AUC as far back as the late 1970s, when a Bachelor's of Arts program was instituted in Middle East Studies, followed by a Master's of Arts program in Middle East Studies. So both our Bachelor's and our MA program attract a wide variety of students from various disciplines. So we attract students who aspire to be academics that want to focus on the study of the Middle East. We also attract students from a government background who have an interest in pursuing careers in diplomacy and international civil service. We also have journalists. We also have practitioners in the realm of non-governmental organizations. We have students who went on to pursue careers in consultancy and development. So we attract a very wide array of students pursuing different interests.
The center has made contributions to research, and there are plans to expand its focuses and activities.
Over the past years, much of the activities of the center have focused on issues related to the Gulf region, the Euro-Mediterranean area, and also the role of outside powers. Particularly China, and there the center conducted a major conference focused on the Indo-Pacific region and how that relates to the Middle East. Last year, the Middle East Studies Center partnered with the Harvard Kennedy School to conduct a series of conversations with thought leaders, practitioners, diplomats, journalists on the future of the Middle East. Much of our activities for the coming 2 years will focus on 2 issues in particular. We intend to focus first on the Eastern Mediterranean that has emerged as a distinct realm of area studies very intricately tied to the Middle East itself. The second area of focus that we hope to develop is a much greater in-depth study of the role of outside powers in the Middle East, and in particular China.
Shaping career besides developing skills are main aims for students to study at Middle East Research Center.
First, it provides interdisciplinary programs. The research center will shape my career in a way that I'm planning to do my PhD within the variety of experts from many departments, so they will guide me tremendously to further my studies, not just for the study itself, but with the networkings that I know that we have in the institute, with the state, with Europe, so it will definitely help me to further my studies. I will have some expectation from the research center. I would like to have what we call graduate conference, which is it will help us to develop our skills in delivering any paper or our presentation skills, and also how to deal with the people, how to deal with the crowds. So I'm hoping that in the near future, we will have a graduate conference that will tremendously help us to build our own careers.
More attention should be given to research centers inside and outside AUC because of their importance in decision-making process. Nada Al-Maghrabi, AUC TV.
Cairo Jazz Festival's 13th edition has kicked off, and with it comes a host of bands, singers, workshops, and more. No more in the following report by Aida Al-Fakhri.
Distinguished guests, lovers of the arts, jazz aficionados, friends, colleagues, and supporters, large and small. For the third year in a row, I am super proud to be standing here before you to inaugurate the Cairo International Jazz Festival. If you allow me to wax poetic, or in jazzier terms, to riff on why I think this is the perfect partnership. A festival like this, with its eclectic mix of sophisticated sounds spread out, in the case of this year's edition, over 9 days, including 2 weekends, has no better place for its home than this campus and this institution.
Last year's festival was also hosted at the AUC Tahrir campus, but with less attendees, participating countries, bands and musicians, and less days spanning the festival. The number of days it took before was 8 days with 25 bands from 10 countries. This year,
I think it's the biggest, like in terms of number of musicians and number of performances and activities presented in this year. We're always surrounded by organizations that support and help the festival. This year we are in collaboration with the US Embassy. We are in partnership with the European Union and the UNIC and like lots of different European embassies and cultural institutions and organizations like so. And we're very happy that we are surrounded with all these entities and happy about it.
To learn from one another, to inspire one another, to find ways to blend their music.
The festival also featured the attendance and support of high-profile figures like Rachel Leslie, the cultural attendee from the US Embassy.
This is the first time that we've supported 3 groups in the Cairo Jazz Festival, one of whom you'll hear tonight, ICX Jazz Ensemble. I want to welcome them, all of the visiting American artists and all of the artists who are coming from various parts of the world and the Egyptian artists who are going to be part of this festival as well.
And Ambassador Christian Berger, the head of the European Union delegation to Egypt. Also, honorary awards were given to both Hani Shnoda and Magdi al-Baghdadi. The Cairo Jazz Festival was established on the premise of cultural exchange through music and giving a platform to rising musicians all around the globe, an international stage to showcase their work in front of a new audience, while still providing room for collaboration between Egyptians and foreign artists. But jazz's focus is not only on the instruments like the saxophone, but also on solo performances on stage, where the rest of the band listens and only one player showcases his forte on stage alone. This is Aida Al-Fakhri reporting for AUCTV.
The Students' Union inaugurated the SU Lounge to provide AC community with a range of entertainment and study areas. More in the following report with Linda Abdelatif.
The SU Lounge, it was a project. We started it 5 years ago, but it started as a lounge just for entertainment. But this year we changed everything. We added the study room, the one we're standing in right now. We thought of making a study room that's kind of unique with a new vibe for the students. The study room here, we made it to be available 24 hours during all days of the week. And this could help other students in the dorms, and also because the OSL lounge is under maintenance and renovation, and it took a lot of time. So we had to think fast and renovate this lounge faster. We also have in the lounge an entertainment room, but instead of the lounge being just for entertainment, we made it a small room that has a TV, PlayStation, the new PlayStation 5, and a Netflix. And along the year we could have some movie nights, we could have some FIFA tournaments. We also have in the new lounge here an outlet for the market, the SU market. Along the year we will adjust all the products, we'll add things, remove things, we'll add new fridges and other products and brands.
When designing the lounge in the first place, we really were thinking of everyone. We wanted to accommodate all students. And that's why in our main room we have also different seating areas for different groups of people to hang around. We have a big projector screen so everyone inside the room could watch the same thing all together. And then we have our studio, which is one of the most exciting things that we have in the lounge. It's really made to service students from PVA, architecture students, graphic design. We're expecting everyone to come and shoot their stuff here at our lounge. And we're also expecting different clubs to come and shoot their stuff instead of going outside. So that's what we were really thinking about when creating the studio. Part of creating an all-inclusive lounge, we really wanted to include pictures of students doing activities. We have pictures of stunts that have been done in the plaza, of clubs that have been doing things, and we also have pictures of our memories together. So people come here and they see their pictures and they feel like they're really part of this place, and that's what we want everyone to feel when coming to the lounge. We want this sense of coziness, but also like creating a really nice and fun space.
In the engineering labs, you can have fun beside receiving knowledge throughout your journey of becoming an engineer. There are labs that are literally called fun labs, where you can have fun and do activities using science and knowledge. More in the following report with Khaled Amgad.
The engineer departments here in the AUC are filled with full advanced labs, where the engineer students can practice their own knowledge there. But surprisingly, there is also a lab which is called Fun Lab, where you can literally have fun with physics and knowledge. You will find out that this particular lab have all sorts of entertaining equipment, where you can experiment all different kinds of experiments in an entertaining processes and methods.
The Fun Lab is a physics laboratory that engages students into hands-on demonstrations and experiments to spark their interest and curiosity into studying science. We do what is so-called in the world science communication. Science communication is about bridging the gap between two types of people. The community, the science community, the people who are staying all the day and the night into their labs, wearing their lab coats and doing a lot of experiments. And on the other hand, the public audience, the people whom might not be interested in science at all. We in science communication trying to bridge this gap. We take from the scientists and try to simplify this science to introduce it to the public audience. We were established here in the Fun Lab, I think 10 years ago. And since then we are traveling all over Egypt to introduce and deliver science activities to school students. We are focusing with school students because we see that making students interested in science from their early childhood, that makes them in the future consider careers in STEM fields like science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Before Corona, the Fun Lab was responsible of delivering different science shows all over Egypt. The science shows, we call it the Wonders of Science Show, which is a mix of science and fun and delivering so much interactive and innovative way of science experiments for all kids. And this science show was a really nice tool for kids to see science in a different way, in a new perspective. And also we had astronomy shows using our one-of-a-kind, the planetarium. And we give them a glimpse about space traveling and about moon colonization and how they see the constellations, stars and planets. And using these shows we were delivering all over Egypt, targeting public schools, community schools and even hospitals and places of worship. And we went all over to target all the students and everywhere. During pandemic, the Fun Lab stopped our activities because most of our activities depend on the face-to-face interaction and the tangibility of our activities. So we started to digitalize our activities and do online shows and do on the Zoom meeting workshops and start to do everything on digital platforms like Facebook. And also we started to do our TikTok channels, which was a huge success because we started to have 1 million views on our videos. So but still we had a couple of problems because as we are targeting the underprivileged communities, most of them have computer but don't have internet access, and some of them have internet access and computer. So this is unequal situation. So we start to tailor our solutions and adapt our solutions just to give equal solutions for everyone to adapt of this new pandemic that hit all over the world. So we start to do a project called Reach the Unreachable, which is having a USB have all our online shows and our videos documented and put it on USB and just give it to the underprivileged communities or any organizations that working with the communities and can provide them with the computer devices.
Science can always be presented in entertaining ways, rather than just reading and doing only boring experiments just to know the concepts. And the students whom receive these kinds of knowledges in funny and entertaining ways are the lucky ones. Khalid Amgad, AUCTV.
During the planning of AUC New Cairo campus, the university chose to infuse their landscape with elements of the living environment, adding trees of different types. More in the following report by Sarah Doumi.
In AUC Gardens lives extraordinary trees that enhance and beautify AUC landscape. Their steady forms impressing and charming us, whether they are part of other trees or standing alone. AUC has chosen to infuse their landscape with elements of living environment, adding more than 8,000 trees, a mixture of international and native Egyptian trees that are different in shape, texture, and color.
بدأنا بأشجار البركات، دي كانت أول حاجة الاهتمام بيها. الأشجار بتاعت البركات والأشجار النخيل. الأشجار الخشبية بالنسبة للبركات دي بنستخدم فيها حوالي 4 أصناف من الأشجار، تمام؟ أهمها طبعًا أشجار اللبخ الأبيض وأشجار الوانسيان وصنف الكاسيان دوزا والجاكاراندا.
The most spreader trees that exist in AUC campus is the citric trees and palm trees. Those are harvested for the benefit of AUC community.
الهدف من وجود الأنواع دي كلها هي طبعا تنوع. كل أنا منوعت في استخدام النباتات، كل ده بيكون يعني حاجة attractive للستاف وللطلبة وللدكاترة وحتى للفيزيتورز في المكان.
Behind the beauty you see of amazing trees, there is a huge process of maintenance such as trimming, weeding, and irrigation. Laborers who work in the AUC landscape department come to take care of the beauty of those trees.
طريقتين. في طريقة لتعليم الشجرة نفسها ان احنا بندخل الشمس لقلب الشجرة، دي فايدة للشجرة والمهدل اللي فيها والسرطانات، دي بنشتغل فيها بالمقص العلى الصغير. وفي طريقة تانية للفروع الكبيرة اللي بتسد الطرق بنشتغل فيها بالمنشار اليدوي، المنشار الكبير، عشان دي فروع وشكل الشجرة نفسه متهزم بتهتنا من كل حتة. بنسلك الطرق منها من كل ناحية بالمنشار اليدوي عشان دي فروع كبيرة.
Another thing that we have seen during our walk is the process of a planting of a new citric tree.
كان عندنا شجرة ليمون ميتة النهاردة شلناها وزرعنا مكانها شجرة ليمون بنحفرها وبعد كده نزرعها ونسمرها يعني نحط لها صوبر وكبريت وكمبوست.
What is also impressive is that AUC uses 100% treated water to irrigate AUC landscape.
كل الأعطال اللي هي المفروض إنها بتحصل في شبكة الري أنا مسؤول عنها بحيث إن الشجر أو كل الزرع يوصل له كمية المية المطلوبة كمثلا إن أنا نقطات مسدودة بحاول أغيرها عشان خاطر تاخد كمية المية بتاعتها.
There are different kinds of well-known trees such as neem trees, sycamore trees, dome trees, prickly pear cactus, pomegranate trees, and olive trees that are not only good to look at while walking on campus, as although the beauty they provide is important, the benefit of their existence is for having healthy environment and benefiting AUC community. Sarah Al-Doumi, AUCTV.
Hello and welcome to our show again. The AUC's MBA program ranked Best Business School in Africa this year. Here in the studio, we're pleased to have Dr. Sherbat Alwan, Associate Professor of Operations and Supply Chain Management and MBA Program Director at AUC School of Business. Welcome, Dr. Sherbat.
Thank you.
Dr. Sherbat, can you please tell us about the accomplishments that are behind such a prestigious recognition for the school?
Thank you. Well, again, of course, it's always nice to be recognized in the media, but I personally am not a fan of rankings. I think the AUC School of Business and the MBA program have a long-standing heritage of being the leading institution in the region. So this recognition is fitting. We do set the standards. We count more on our culture of striving for excellence, continuous improvement, quality assurance that's recognized in our Triple Crown accreditation. We really believe that it's expected of us to be, at this point, setting the standards of how higher business management education should be in the region.
Doctor, can you tell us about the program and how it can be helpful for the students for their future careers?
Okay, so the MBA program has a long heritage, as I mentioned, 40 years at least of recognized as the Masters of Business Administration in the region, graduated over 1,440 alumni that are serving the community and society at large. It's the flagship program, and we recognize that through the alumni and through what the program offers in terms of content and cutting-edge curricula, innovative teaching styles, that the program is equipped to target the growing need of what we call young business professionals in the region. So we always aim to have practical value-add knowledge to provided to students.
Mm-hmm.
We use cutting-edge programs. We benchmark our programs with other global programs. We're very big on hands-on education, like we call experiential learning, where students in the classroom are exposed to case study methods of learning. We have simulations, role-playing. Most courses have projects, if not even a consulting project towards the end. So what happens is, through our strong alumni network and through our relationships with the business ecosystem in Egypt, we are very well equipped to bring in what we call subject expert matter on topics that are very relevant to students. So when they graduate the program, they have both the right theoretical foundation and practical application needed for such challenging careers.
And what are the latest developments that took place in the program?
Okay, so again, we promote a culture of continuous improvement. So it's typical in a program to revisit what they do frequently and regularly. Our most recent restructuring began implemented more than a year ago, and where we restructured the overall MBA to the courses and even how the program is structured to a different format. Let me explain. First of all, the program in its essence was a specialized track program to begin with, right? So it used to be 48 credit hours where students would take 3 years and a half to finish this long journey and finish 48 credit hours. The trends, when we did benchmarking with other programs, the MBA tends to move towards a general degree. And if students who are in need of a certain specialty go for what we call like a Masters of Finance, Masters of Supply Chain, Masters of Marketing. So what we did is that we maintained this whole general management degree in the program, and we supported it with relevant themes. So we would have tracks where you would maybe career path preferences, where you focus on corporate advancement or entrepreneurship. And we would offer electives in the area of what we call sociological and technological trends. So in the program, the structure of how it is now allows us to keep updating the curriculum by offering the latest in industry trends, social trends, sustainability trends, and again, technological trends. The compression, so the program was brought down from 48 credit hours to 36. Students are now able to finish that program in 2 years compared to much longer before, and of course at a lower total cost. Something that also the market research informed us about is that that we need to make the program competitive in the region in terms of what we offer and the value we offer. This compression again had to do with the foundational or the essential topics where there was compression in the courses, there's compression in the structure, and that kind of compression in the front end allowed us to free up a lot of time for the topics I mentioned, the relevant themes and the career preferences.
And what are the collaborations that usually take place between the MBA program here in AUC and other MBA programs, whether in Egypt or abroad?
Okay, so again, in terms of partnerships in AUC, we work very closely. We actually, 5 of the 12 MBA courses are offered with the Sustainable Development Program. So we work very closely with the Sustainable Development Program at AUC to offer joint courses and electives also in core curriculum. We offer electives in the management of technology. We still, one of the things I'm really hopeful for is that we start going across the borders of this university and reaching out to other national universities. There's a lot of opportunity for cross-learning, both sides, exchange, faculty, research. And I think even the president recently, our new president, talked about opening up to the higher education institution in Egypt. So I'm really looking forward to that phase.
And what are the goals that the MBA program here in AUC is currently working on or aiming for?
Well, continuous improvement again. We're always thinking about what's next, what's new, but definitely post-COVID, I have to say the talk is about how much offering can be done in a blended form or in online format. And given the strategic positioning of an MBA program and the busy schedules our target candidates have, there seems to be interest right now that for some kind of blended offering in the way we offer our physical presence online as of this semester. So we're definitely looking into, again, researching what's offered in hybrid models, whether to offer an online program with partnerships and such, but nothing, it's all still in the make, and these things, we're moving very fast actually, but we're still hopeful to have something new to meet all the increasing market need for the MBA in the region and hopefully globally if we become online.
Yeah. Dr. Sherwat Alwan, MBA Program Director, thank you very much for joining us today. Dear viewers, thank you for watching and stay tuned for more episodes from AUC Observer.